If you're ready to hit the track in the iRacing Ford FR 500S Mustang, then sign up for the Barber Ford Mustang Club today. With great prizes from our awesome sponsors, this league is fast, fun, and best of all, free to race in. Take on 6 races of wheel-to-wheel action, all broadcasted live on Pit Stop TV. As a member, you will receive a $500 voucher to Barber Ford, plus entry into a raffle for a brand new Fanatec H-pattern shifter. Every point you earn on the track is 1 entry into the raffle, meaning you can race your way into a brand new Fanatec shifter drawn on December 15th. Battle your competitors at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Watkins Glen, Road Atlanta, Barber Motorsports Park, Brands Hatch, and for the finale, Lime Rock Park. Join the Barber Ford Mustang Club at League ID 3350 today.
The venue is the world-renowned Nürburgring. The car is unchanged from weeks past. SimLab Production Car Challenge moves back across international waters, visiting Germany for a pivotal test of man and machine versus racetrack. Production Car Challenge Week 9 begins now. Welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Nordschleife. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV, and it's a pleasure to join you for our coverage of Production Car Challenge Racing. Our coverage is brought to you, of course, by Barber Ford, brought to you by Whiplash Simcams, and brought to you by CC's Business. We have got cars already down on the grid, of course, qualifying unattached from our sessions for this week in particular. We are on the Nordschleife layout. Let's take a look at our track map as we get into the sim and get ready to go racing from the Nürburgring. You see there where every corner, all 154, lay out on this course. There's quite a few, and we're ready to go racing around every single one of them for just 3 laps of action this evening. I'm not even going to try with the corner numbers, corner name, pronunciations, any of that, but we're ready to go racing for sure. We're on the pace lap. Let's take a look at our point standings. Benjamin Roberts comes in with a 200-point lead nearly. Jack John's lead cut down to just 48 points. We don't have much time before we go racing green flag. Let's take a look, though, at our Toyota and Mazda standings. This is where the fun is. We'll talk more about it during our race. But for now, we come around the final corner and take the green flag on the front stretch here. Oh, how much fun this is going to be. One of the most special races we'll ever cover here on a Monday night. It's lap 1 of 3. Here come the Renault Clios. Larry Love in front of them all. Matthew Morhart will join this field from the second position, and we have gone green. David Levine, Tim George in that fight as well. Meanwhile, maybe our best points battle all season, Nicholas Sudik leads us to the green flag in Toyota Racing, and the Mazdas are not far behind. Already a battle there for our Mazda race leaders. And out off the racetrack was, was that Steve Sobka? I think it was. There's been some drama brewing in just these first couple of races, I should say, for Production Car Challenge this week on this racetrack, particularly with the Mazdas. Watch out for Santiago. It sounds like there has been a little bit of drama for sure to get the week going. Meanwhile, how about our Mustang leaders getting lap 1 fully underway? This is on board with Kevin Parrish already over Flugplatz and headed down to Arenberg. Such a fast piece of racetrack. They're only going to come through each of these corners 3 times. Now that the hustle and bustle of the green flag is out of the way, I know that was pretty well cut short. An odd intro for us. Let's take a look at our race details. Only a 3-lap race. Everything else remains unchanged from other races this season. Mustang Clio, GR86, and MX-5s here this evening. A shout out to David Levine in particular and Tim George, a couple of guys from our Lucky Motorsport Solutions Street Stocks that'll be on track at Bristol tomorrow night. They are in this race. Cool to see them here, given this kind of racing a chance once again. Meanwhile, how about a good race for our Toyotas as they head into kind of the mid portion of the lap? Already a couple of minutes elapsed in this 3-lap race. We've got ourselves a really good fight out front. Nicholas Sudik, Daniel McConnell, Jake Strait, your top 3. Sudik a bit wide. And once again, you won't get corner numbers out of me today. That's not going to happen. Corner numbers, corner names. There's 154 corners on this industry farting layout. Not going to know a single one. Well, I shouldn't say a single one. There's a few that I do know. Of course, Flugplatz and Orenburg are pretty iconic. Kevin Parrish might have one of his best opportunities to try and best Benjamin Roberts this season here at the Nürburgring. We've got an extra driver in this fight from what we usually see. This being Xinyan Sai, I believe, from China, which we don't have a graphic for, so you don't see a graphic in the bottom right there. But we do have the same top three that we've had the last few weeks. Benjamin Roberts, Kevin Parrish, Fabian Zweyer, your top three. They've just got a little bit of extra company. Only 6 Mustangs in this race. Michael Carpenter and Rich Minkler making up the rest of your Mustang field. Some battling down to the Clios. David Levine has gone on by Michael Sullivan. And, oh boy, whoa! Crash there, Logan Groen, and this is in front of all the Mazdas. He gets out of the way and will go down, unfortunately, with a tow on lap number 1. That's our first bit of drama, first crash of the race. We'll take a look back at what just happened to car number 23. He gets passed here by Santiago Aguiar into the town, and this is a really tough piece of racetrack for any car, let alone production cars that are just trying to fight for any bit of grip they can get. Logan Groen around on his own, and thankfully stays out of the way of the Mazdas. Dean Yates now working up into, or no, losing a spot rather. Falling into the Mazdas. Look at the Mazdas coming up. We've got 5, 6, 7 stacked up in a line trying to move into the back end of the Toyota field. Oh, I feel like this is going to be chaos. Side by side there. Wow. Gary Shalik and Andrew Dishett. That was close. On board with Dishett now. We head up to the carousel for the first time. This is going to be a really, really interesting couple of corners for these guys. These Mazdas, there's not much room up here. There is one good line through this carousel. Looks like the Toyota of Dean Yates is going to have it. A couple of Mazdas side by side further back. That's not ideal at all for Steve Sobka. He falls back, loses 3 positions in one corner alone. And that's why it's important to get single file ahead of that carousel. I mentioned Benjamin Roberts having a good shot at, Kevin Parrish rather having a good shot at Benjamin Roberts. That has kind of gone out the window. Already Roberts with a second over Parrish. I think showing us all, once again, why Roberts has the 200-point lead coming into this race. Oh, that's just the coolest bit of racetrack right there. Watch Carpenter fly down here. The ground falls out. Oh my gosh. We're going to see it here for Larry Love as well. And actually, how about Austin Knight? He's got a side-by-side fight. Samir Kadura repping a Team Cuba paint scheme. Something you don't see very often. That's the coolest piece of racetrack, I feel like, here at the Nürburgring. David Levine, a good shot of it here. Right down. Here come the Toyotas. Again, really, really cool. I don't know what corner this is called. Somebody can enlighten me, I'm sure. And here we go. Benoit Minor now defending over Santiago Aguiar. This is going to be troublesome, I think. Santiago's clearly got some pace. Question is, how is he going to work his way through this Toyota field? Can he do so nicely, politely, if you will? Meanwhile, look back at your Toyota top 3 as they work through the final couple of corners before hitting the Dottinger Hove for the first time. Oh, McConnell, great run out of the corner, but he went too wide. Jake Strait had a better corner overall. That's kind of the second carousel, if you will. And now it's flat out on the throttle up to the Dottinger Hove. In fact, we've got a nice little Mustang battle at the end of the Dottinger Hove straightaway. Fabian Zweyer losing 3rd position. Here come the Renaults. We're not going to bother Austin Knight just yet because he's in this battle along with Samir Kadura. But we are going to talk to Austin Knight the second time around. Further back, Nicholas Sudik, Jake Strait, Daniel McConnell fighting down the long Dottinger Hove straightaway. And Toyotas are making ground on Renaults up ahead. This is the closest we've seen any championship fight this season. Nicholas Sudik just 5 points behind Daniel Wareham. Wareham not in this race. This is a big opportunity then for Sudik to get some much needed championship points and go for the points lead. McConnell raced with him nicely last week. They had a great run at Willow Springs, but Sudik needs to make very, very good use of this round in particular, I feel like, to get all the points he can. Lap 1 complete for much of the field as they come down the short front stretch and back into the Nordschleife proper. Lap leaders across the field: Benjamin Roberts, Larry Love, Nicholas Sudik, and Santiago Aguiar, who has got a 4-second lead on Seba Berrios. Second place in Mazda's. Dean Yates in trouble. This is onto the front stretch, oddly enough. And that is not how you want your night to be going if you're car number 26. Seen Dean in a couple of other races this season. This is not the first time seeing his name on the roster. Got a lot of Mazdas right behind him as they come up the hill. Unfortunately, the Kamikaze number 26 around here in the final corner just gets loose. Not the first time we've seen a Toyota just over-rotate. A look here at your live Mustang and overall race leaders. Kevin Parrish was able to get back closer to Benjamin Roberts. Not able to do anything with the race leader just yet. But these two oh so close. Trouble! David Levine. And his Renault goes off track at Arenberg. It looks like he gets back on track okay. I don't see much, if any, damage to that. Oh, yeah, I see some left side damage, actually. He definitely hit the wall. Or another car. And that's going to be a problem for your Mazda leader of Santiago Aguiar. This is going to be really troublesome, I feel like, as he heads up the hill and closes in on David Levine. We're seeing a lot of class interaction, and that's not exactly normal as Michael Sullivan now goes off track, a Renault Clio having trouble. A lot more class interaction here at the Nürburgring than we've seen in most other rounds. So much draft and so much I guess opportunity for mistake. I mean, you've got 154 corners you've got to try and get down. And we're going to keep taking a look here at Levine as he's got this damaged front-wheel drive machine. It's the left front that has the damage. Sullivan is off track right next to him. Levine dives into the grass for a moment. Sullivan right on the inside of Santiago. Contact, and Sullivan's going to hang on to it. Santiago can't be happy. He just got door slammed by an errant Renault. I don't see much damage, though, to the number 1 car. He comes up now on David Levine. This is going to be a high rate of closing speed. And Levine nicely gets up out of the way, but he does pop back in front of Tyler Agostino and Benoit Miner. Or Moinier. Monier? I'm not sure. Austin Sam's working on Seba Berrios. And Kevin Parrish, hello, he's bringing the fight suddenly to Benjamin Roberts. They're quickly coming up on the, before I knew this track and really knew anything about it, I used to call it the NASCAR carousel, but that super highly banked corner. I know it's got a name. It's a carousel. Take a look on board here with Kevin Parrish headed up into that oh-so-fun single-lane piece of racetrack. The gap ahead from Parrish to Roberts staying relatively stagnant. Parrish really using the draft this lap more than lap number 1. He's able to do a lot, it looks like, behind Roberts. I think he's got some pretty good pace. We could see these two swap spots this lap or the next lap. I don't think hope is at all lost for Kevin Parrish to try and get this win out from underneath your Mustang points leader. Nicholas Sudik, Daniel McConnell, Jake Strait. Let's revisit their points battle coming into this race, or at least coming into this week. Daniel Wareham 5 points up on Nicholas Sudik. Jorge Dominic drops to the 3rd position, and your top 4 in this class are separated by just 35 points. And of course, these are season-long standings. These are their standings over every race throughout the week. Overall, for the overall championship of all divisions, all races, all time slots. Daniel Wareham just 5 points over Nicholas Sudik, who we have seen dominate this 9:30 p.m. Eastern time slot. He's doing so again this evening. He's putting some time out now between himself and Daniel McConnell, but we know when they get back around to the Nottinger Hove, it's going to be a draft train. Back to those Mazdas that are in just one big conga line. They work through the mid portion of the lap, quickly headed towards that carousel, it looks like. And there is not much room between them. Actually, they might be through the carousel. Weather conditions here today, 77.7 degrees. 80-degree track temp, partly cloudy. Pretty nice day overall as you see our Mazda field snake through the German countryside. Michael Sullivan there slow briefly in front of Austin Sams. Oh, so close. And our race leaders are on to the Nottinger Hove. Let's see what Kevin Parrish can do following up your overall race leader and points leader, Benjamin Roberts. Behind these guys, a pretty good fight brewing between Zinyan and Fabian Zweyer, side by side. Down the Nottinger Hove, big pass there for Fabian. He moves back into 3rd spot. Kevin Parrish with the draft. And while these guys race, you're quickly going to see Austin Knight work onto the Nottinger Hove here in just a moment. Let's follow our leaders through as they begin to take the white flag here in just a moment. Side by side. That's some proper racing at the end of the straightaway. Oh, Kevin Parrish got alongside for a moment. Benjamin Roberts squeezed back over, and Parrish will have to wait under the lap. But that was a good dress rehearsal. That was a good opportunity for Kevin to learn a little bit about how he's going to have to try and pass this number 2 car. It's not going to be so easy as we take the white flag, brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. Here goes Austin Knight onto the Nottinger Hove. Let's talk with the driver of the number 20 as he's been in this battle for 2nd place. Austin, this is a pretty unique round. Glad that it's on the calendar, but it has been chaos for some and payday for others. How is it for you on track?
Well, they don't call it the Green Hell for nothing, I would say. It's a lot of fun out here. I'm having a good fight with 17 and Samir right now. We've been swapping spots right now. Having a good time. The draft on this final lap is going to make this absolutely chaotic. I'm just going to be focusing on my own race and everything, but everything else going around me, oh man, the radio is... you don't know how big of a smile I have on my face right now, but there's a lot of fun. And this final lap should keep you having a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure, and the field is getting so far spread apart. We're seeing battles in completely different pieces of the racetrack. How does the track feel in particular? Pretty neutral track temps, nothing too crazy. Does it feel pretty good?
Nothing chaotic right now. The Clio tires are starting to fall off right now, so this entire final lap for us Clios, it's all about survival, really. We had one mistake from, I believe, our pole sitter, who, unfortunately, I don't know where he went, but he's not up here with us anymore, so congrats to Larry, who's running away with it. That he's got some pace up there that I cannot match, and it's a lot of fun out there, but yeah, track is good. I'm liking the track. Some people... It's just more about survival right now than feeling out the track, because that first lap you just kind of never get out of that mindset because these tires take a long time to warm up.
Yeah, we're seeing that for most of the field, but I think by this last lap they are pretty warmed up, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Fortunately for the Clios, too warmed up.
Well, Austin, we'll get you back to it as you come over Fluke Platts. Some pretty tough racetrack ahead as you chase 2nd place. Best of luck to you.
I'm just chilling, having fun. Y'all have a good time. Enjoy the race.
Absolutely. Austin Knight running the 3rd position currently in Renault competition. Glad to talk to him briefly during this race. Further forward, how about this fight? This is for 3rd place overall and in Mustang racing. And we don't know much about this driver, Xinyan Chai. I'm not sure exactly how to get the pronunciation down, but I believe a Chinese driver making the first start that we've seen in one of these broadcasted races. Really, really cool fight between Xinyan and Fabian Zweyer. These guys going for 3rd and 4th on the racetrack. And we're not done as far as fights go. How about all of these Mazdas further back? They are in a long line. This might be chaos, and they get down to some skill corners, if you will. I think they're headed down to Arenberg, and oh, there it is! Big accident! Cars trying to get out of the way. That's 4, make it 5. David Levine sneaks on through. And Levine has to take to the grass. That was absolute chaos. Brian LeBlanc, it looks like, gets through. Matthew Malone, not the streamer, but Matthew Malone is involved. It looks like Andrew Dishut and Austin Sams. Actually, not Austin Sams. Carlos Tortosa is involved. Several drivers involved in that big impact. Headed down to Arenberg. We keep on racing. Our Toyota leaders now split apart. Nicholas Sudik, a 2.5 second gap to Jake Strait and Daniel McConnell. McConnell holding second. And up ahead, Kevin Parrish starting to get close to Benjamin Roberts once again. Is there an opportunity for Parrish to get by this race leader? Possibly. One would think maybe wait for the Dottinger Hove, but he might not have that opportunity again. Here comes Parrish alongside Roberts. Really brazen move here as we head into the twists and turns once again of the forest of Germany. This is a scary place to pass, but he makes it happen. Roberts facilitates it. That is good racing between our top two. Really heads up stuff between these two. Zweyer holding on to 3rd currently. Larry Love still leading in Renaults. Now the question is, can Kevin Parrish do anything about the Dottinger Hove? Can he defend on that long piece of drafting straightaway, or is Benjamin Roberts in the catbird seat to take advantage? I guess we'll find out. Further back, Jake Strait, Daniel McConnell now side by side, and they are quickly approaching that carousel as well. I think they just got onto that kind of mid-back straight, if you will. I promise you, I've tried to learn the Nürburgring. It's a challenge just for me to learn this track as far as getting laps in. I believe they're headed now through Klostertal. And they will quickly be headed up towards that carousel. Not even going to try to pronounce the first word there. But they're through Extal, Lauda Links, and Bergwerk. Kevin Parrish, Benjamin Roberts quickly approaching the Dottinger Hove for the final time. Only 3 laps here. They go by quick. And this 20-ish lap race has not felt like 20 minutes. This has felt like maybe 10. Slow car here. This is the damaged Matthew Malone just trying to get back to the pit lane. It's going to be a long lap with no right front tire. Problems here for Timothy George. He has spun around, and this... Ooh, that's a tough piece of racetrack to be spun around in. That's going to be a tough rejoin for him. That looks like it's headed up. Yep, headed up to the carousel. Jake Strait side by side again. Here we go, though, for the race leaders. Benjamin Roberts. Opportunity is starting to present themselves here on Kevin Parrish. The last few corners of this lap up ahead. That second kind of carousel up ahead for these two. From here, it's mostly on throttle, even all the way to the Dottinger Hove, and Kevin Parrish out wide. He builds a little bit of a gap, but that's only going to help Benjamin Roberts early on this straightaway. So watch Roberts, as now it's full throttle, wide open, back around to the Dottinger Hove straightaway. Just trying to get everything you can out of the tires, and here comes your points leader. Up into 5th gear, one of the longest straights, one of the fastest pieces of racetrack we'll see all season long. Roberts with an opportunity. I think it's a no-brainer. I think he's going to get this position by the end of the straightaway. Goes left. That's going to be a bold move for sure. That's going to be the inside, then the outside, then the inside again when they get up to these corners, if Parrish is able to stay alongside. And no, Parrish drops in behind Benjamin Roberts. Can he do anything? Last complex ahead, a chicane and a slow right-hander. Can Parrish send it up the inside? The answer is no, not there. Can he get there here? A little shot in the shorts to Benjamin Roberts, but Kevin Parrish has to settle for second once again. It is a big old W for Benjamin Roberts at the Nürburgring. Larry Love has just a few corners left to go as well into the back end of the circuit. Really solid day for this driver. He has got a big gap, 3 seconds and a quarter, as they work onto the Dottinger Hove. Austin Knight somewhat close to Samir Kudura, but looks like he won't be able to do anything with it. How about Tyler Agostino? He has fallen back, and oh, we've had a problem. Jake Strait. Massive damage. Levine scrambles to get by. The driver who was running third for much of this race in Toyota has fallen out. Jesus Lojera maybe, has slowed, I think is out of fuel, will come to a stop and take a tow back to the pit lane. Problems there. Problems everywhere as Larry Love will come up into the final complex of corners and take a race win so long as it makes it through 1 or 2 more apexes. Congratulations, car 13, Larry Love taking the win. Nicholas Sudik kind of through the formalities here as well. Couple of apexes left to go for this number 4 car, and the Watson Racing Setups Toyota GR86 claims another win this season in this broadcasted time slot. Here comes Santiago Aguiar. He's got a 2.7 second lead and also wins at the Nürburgring, and a nice little battle there, second and third. Eugenio Pulsi will hang on to the second spot over Seba Berrios. Gary Shalek, Paul Ricabene. Contact there at the final corner, going for every little piece of racetrack. No change of position. Here comes David Levine, Brian LeBlanc, Dean Yates, and Angela Rodriguez. This is a nice little fight into the last couple of corners. Not much you can do, though, when you get back around. And hello, sounds like today is somebody's birthday. Daniel McConnell, potentially. Happy birthday to driver number 10, second place in Toyota racing. I'm sure we'll be talking to him here in a few as the last few cars come around to the front stretch and complete week number 9's broadcasted race for Production Car Challenge action. Austin Sams comes around. How about Marcelo Temes from Brazil? Andrew Dishaw back here with all of his damage, and it looks like Timothy George will be one of the final 2 cars to the start-finish line. You'll be able to see him in action. He's won 3 straight races in the Lucky Motorsport Solutions Street Stocks. He'll be racing at Bristol tomorrow night with that series. But it looks like the final car to come around will end up being Matthew Malone, and I admire this driver's dedication to get back around with all of this wheel damage. No right front. Again, this is impressive for Matthew Malone that he's coming around here. Absolute dedication from this guy. Timothy George comes into the final couple of corners and will just inch across the start-finish line. No left front there connected for him. It's just kind of hanging on by a thread. Malone, though, significantly farther left to go. So let's take a look at our unofficial, very unofficial race results as one car continues on. That's Matthew Malone. Unofficial race results. Benjamin Roberts, of course, with the race win, led every single lap, just edging out Kevin Parrish. Fabian Zweyer with the third position. Larry Love takes the win in Renault over Samir Kudura and Austin Knight. Nicholas Sudik, of course, hangs on for the win in Toyota racing. Really, really good race in that Mustang battle. And really good race for most of the race in the Toyota race as well. The rest of the field gets sorted out relatively, I think, as expected after 3 laps around this monster of a racetrack. 14 miles and change. Some 154 corners. That was a good time. And Matthew Malone is still dedicated. He's coming down. Oh, he's still got so far to go. This poor guy. While he works around the racetrack, let's start to bring in our drivers. Daniel McConnell, Nicholas Sudik, they're going to join us from the Toyotas. But first up, how about our overall race winner once again, Benjamin Roberts. Simply can't be beat, it seems like. Another race win, but Kevin Parrish nearly had you. What was it like in that fight? Was there any panic from you?
Not really. I was a little bit stressed sort of the first lap. Sort of he almost caught me down the straight, so I thought if I could keep that gap I'd be okay, but then he did catch me. So I kind of switched on the old brain and sort of let him sort of go past me going up the hill so I could stay behind him for the dotting up and get him right before the line, and all worked out.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised that Kevin went for the move where he went for it. That's an odd piece of racetrack, I think, to pass, considering the Dottinger Hove up ahead, and it seemed like that worked right into your plan. If he hadn't gone for that pass, were you concerned at all for the Dottinger Hove, considering he had gone for a pass the lap prior and learned a little bit about how maybe to best you the next lap?
Yeah, possibly. Although he would have been probably close to that lap anyway, so I might have been able to get him back right at the end. We don't hear it. But yeah, I mean, as I was behind him, he was a bit scrappy sort of right before Dottinger, but I was able to just keep that sort of 4 or 5 tenths where I could just clear him right at the end of the straight and not have to worry about him coming back at me.
Well, Ben, good to talk to you once again. Headed out to Summit Point Raceway next week as we head into week number 10. Obviously, you still got plenty of Nürburgring races ahead, I'm sure, this week. But looking ahead to Summit Point, really tricky racetrack, almost completely opposite from the Nürburgring in terms of length. A pretty short track, not a whole lot of room to go racing.
No, it's not. It is short. It's really fun. I think it was the first track I ever drove on iRacing, but I haven't driven it for over a year, so it'd be good to get back there.
Benjamin Roberts, another race win. Congratulations. Hopefully we're talking to you next week.
Thanks very much, Andrew.
Getting more and more familiar with that guy. Winning, though, down in Toyotas. How about Nicholas Sudik once again going to join us for a post-race interview? This is the weekly tradition, it seems like. Nicholas, a very different challenge this week, though. The racetrack, the largest challenge, as opposed to the drivers out there. You did put a pretty good gap between yourself and Daniel McConnell on lap number 2. What did that take?
Well, it took a lot of luck, honestly. Just the way that the aero model is on the GR, it's very easy to stay in that draft envelope. Like I've alluded to before, and we talked about even a little bit in past races, but because you don't really have dirty air affect you as much, and because of the nature of most of the dozens upon dozens of corners here, it is very easy for you to get a group of 3 to 5 cars. Especially typically in a TCR, in the GR86, during the mini endurance races, the iRacing Nürburgring Endurance Championship races, that seems to be the trend in upper splits. So I was fully expecting it just to be a 3 to 4 car battle the whole time and just be able to be patient, try to use traffic to my advantage, and it kind of worked out a bit. That the car is absolutely on rails through I don't know corner names. I love this track so much and I forget corner names, but after Carousel all the way up until the end of the lap, that last third of the lap is just, it's on. And that is where you can make up a lot of time, because that kind of stability and like using and finding the slip angle just enough just to keep it stable and using a lot of weight transfer. Yep, right there. That's the ticket right there. If you want to be fast in any touring car or any lighter sports car or club car, that's where to go in any sim right there. That's the money right there. But yeah, no, I used that to my advantage. I gained like 2 seconds. Even before I think they had an incident towards the end there behind me, but I mean I was gone, and it sounds a little egotistical at times, but I mean I couldn't have. I needed that, and I expected that, and I got it, and I'm just thrilled that it kind of played out the way I wanted it to.
Well, Nicholas, a lot of really good feedback there. It's always good to talk to you, buddy. It really is. How about this points fight, briefly, before we let you go for the evening? Only 5 points back coming into this brand new week at the Nürburgring. That is a complete change from what we've seen in any points battle yet this season. Suddenly, that lead is right in front of you, certainly within grasp.
Oh, for sure. Jorge, I know, has a week down, so he will be definitely taking a bit of a jump there. That being said, I only got about, I think, like 90 points last week in the couple races that I did at Willow. The Wareham up there on top actually got, I think, 1 or 2 really good SOFs and was able to claw a really good gap back to us. But I think once the drop weeks play out, it's going to be close. And I'm just the one, I think it was Spa. I had a really bad race, and that really, really hurt me. And kind of been clawing back a little bit. But I mean, honest to God, if you're in a series with 10,000 odd entries just in one class, which consistently Production Car Challenge has had since the 8.6 has come back, and which is why I'm very passionate about it. I mean, even just getting a podium in there, it's luck of the draw for your points hauls in your races at that point. But just being in that top 3, top 5 is an accomplishment. That's honestly what I'm shooting for. I'd love to have the championship, but I know it's an uphill battle, and anything for Team Watson Racing would be fantastic. That'll be the first time I think they've gotten any sort of official sports car in their history, even before they expanded to include their setup shop and do a lot of the NASCAR stuff. So I'd be enthralled to do that. Like I can't put into words. I will probably tweet it out and scream like a child getting candy if I do that. But eyes forward, head down. Got a lot of racing to go still.
Well, Nicholas, congratulations once again. We'll be talking to you, I'm sure, next week at Summit Point.
Yeah, Summit Point, West Virginia, let's go! All right, thank you, Andrew.
Good to talk to you, buddy. That's Nicholas Sudik, of course, with the race win in Toyotas. Down to the guy who goes second place to him tonight, Daniel McConnell. And a little birdie in the YouTube chat has told us it might be your birthday. If that's the case, happy birthday.
Well, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, 33 years old today. Mentally 12, though, still.
I resemble that statement. How about this race, though, around one of the, if not the toughest racetrack on iRacing? Mount Washington might have it, but it's not really a racetrack, is it? So we'll say the most difficult circuit on iRacing. And it definitely, you guys had to race the racetrack. I think that got the guy right behind you. What was it? Jake Strait. What happened there late in the race?
Oh, man, I can't even remember, one of the 158 turns or whatever. Towards the back, he just went over the hill and kind of lost grip and just went right in the wall, unfortunately.
And while you're not quite in that top 5 of point standings overall for the entire series in all divisions going into the back end of this season, so it means you can kind of get a little bit more loose. I'm not sure where you fit into your division point standings, but for the whole series, you're not really, I guess, under the same pressure as guys like Nicholas Sudik. Does that mean you're going to bring maybe a little bit more extra oomph to some of these battles these last couple of weeks, try to go get some wins and maybe some star power as you got stars all over your race car this week?
Oh, absolutely. And I tried to make the livery a little bit more friendly. But yeah, no, absolutely. I don't have pressure. I kind of jumped in halfway through. So now that I kind of understand how Nicholas is driving and dominating, he might have to watch his mirrors a little more closely next race.
And so a point next week is a completely different kind of battle than the Nürburgring for sure. Do you have any kind of experience there in this car?
Oh man, refresh me real quick on the next race here.
Summit Point?
Yeah, Summit Point. Yeah, that's right. Don't have a lot of experience. I know I did a lot of the Ferrari Challenge there, but you know, anything slower than that, I really haven't driven around. I can only imagine it's real flowy, kind of like Willow probably.
Yeah, it's a point, a really fun racetrack. If you haven't had experience there in this car, it's going to reach out and bite you. I would definitely suggest some practice. Daniel, it's good to talk to you more and more as the season goes on. Hopefully we're talking to you more the rest of the season.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man.
Daniel McConnell celebrating his 33rd birthday today. 33rd trip around the sun. Congratulations to him. And not only for that second spot, but 33 years, that's a pretty big accomplishment. Really fun day here at the Nürburgring, that's for sure. We went over the race results. How about what's upcoming here at Pit Stop TV? A look across the next week or so here on the channel. Tuesday, tomorrow night, November 7th, we head out to Bristol Motor Speedway at 9:15 Eastern. That'll be brought to you by Lucky Motorsport Solutions and Elevated Performance as we head out to the high banks of Bristol. Then Friday evening, more Mustang action. We head out to Brands Hatch up in the UK, up in England, for Barber Ford Mustang Club Racing. That's going to be fun, of course. November the 10th, tune in for that at 8:30 Eastern. And Monday, a brand new week for us. It'll be week number 10 as we go to Summit Point on November 13th. Now, with time change, there was some confusion about when we would race, when we would cover the broadcast anyways. We are planning to stick with the 9:30 p.m. Eastern slot. I know there was a little bit of debate in the series Discord, but we're going to stick with this time slot for now. That's what the American driver base has been expecting, and I think that is best to roll with. However, to you Europeans, this is my message to you. If you want to get a broadcast specifically for your region, get with Austin Knight. We can get in contact. We can try and work that out. It can be done. For the Americans, though, here for the 9:30 Eastern split, this just seems to work. We're going to stick with it for the time being. That is the plan for the rest of season number 4 here in 2023. There you go. It can be done. Go ahead and contact Austin Knight. We'll get something figured out. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. It has been a pleasure as always. Of course, these broadcasts brought to you by Barber Ford. Thanks for them for being here. And a big shout out to our partners here at the channel, Whiplash SimCams, ATVL, CC's Business across the board, making sure we get to and from these virtual racetracks. And of course, a big shout out to those who make it happen for us behind the scenes. In audio, ATVO, Whiplash SimCams, OBS, and iRacing.com. That'll do it from the Nürburgring. What a crazy race that was. Didn't feel like 20 minutes. It went by pretty quick. 3 laps of racing, by in a hurry, by in a flash, and a whole lot of chaos to go along with it. Congratulations to tonight's winners, Benjamin Roberts, Larry Love, Nicholas Sudik, and Santiago Aguiar. We'll see you next time. Summit Point next week.
If you're ready to hit the track in the iRacing Ford FR500S Mustang, then sign up for the Barber Ford Mustang Club today. With great prizes from our awesome sponsors, this league is fast, fun, and best of all, free to race in. Take on 6 races of wheel-to-wheel action, all broadcasted live on Pit Stop TV. As a member, you will receive a $500 voucher to Barber Ford, plus entry into a raffle for a brand new Fanatec H-pattern shifter. Every point you earn on the track is 1 entry into the raffle, meaning you can race your way into a brand new Fanatec shifter drawn on December 15th. Battle your competitors at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Watkins Glen, Road Atlanta, Barber Motorsports Park, Brands Hatch, and for the finale, Lime Rock Park. Join the Barber Ford Mustang Club at League ID 3350 today.